Good day, fleshy mammals, and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be checking out the Arctic 2 by Glidr. About damn time. Hey! Whatever, I'll deal with them later. Anyways, let's get into it. So, as my clone so eloquently put it, yes, I've had this thing for well over a year at this point. I wanted to review it sooner, but I just kind of lost interest. I didn't feel like it was anything to write home about. Now, roughly 8 months to a year later, I am a much more enlightened individual and finally feel like reviewing this thing before I give it away to a friend of mine. This is the first Balisong I owned that was good out of the box and stayed good for the majority of the time that I owned it. Which is kind of sad considering I owned like 5 other Balisongs before this, but I won't get into that right now. What I will get into, however, is the unboxing experience. The unboxing experience of the Glidr Arctic 2, and in fact all of their recent products, has changed from a magnetically latched cardboard box to a little zip-up pouch with a band in the middle of the Balisong slot to keep the Glidr product from falling out while the pouch is open. See? It also comes with a 3D printed Balisong stand that you can assemble yourself, some spare hardware, a bite handle indicator, and a Balisong care and maintenance card, which is always nice to see. Now, for an overview. This particular Balisong is made of a 6061 aluminum handles in a sandwich configuration with a 440C hardened steel blade and bushings as the pivot mechanism. Now, bushings on a Balisong with a price range of around 120 bucks was relatively unheard of at the time of the Arctic's first release. But now, a Balisong for 120 bucks with bushings is not as mind-blowing as something as cheap as the Novalis Volk or the Novalis Canyon. It also comes with hidden Zen pins, which keeps the aesthetic of this Balisong up by a lot. Though looks on a Balisong, much like everything else in this hobby, is entirely subjective. But what isn't is the Balisong's flipping performance. Yahoo! I'll get him. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I will get him one of these days. The flipping performance of the Arctic 2 is pretty good, but is unfortunately a little too handle biased for my personal preference. They did improve on the grip, however, adding a little pocket on each of the slabs of the aluminum for added grip on the faces and texturing. Whereas with the previous iteration of the Arctic, it was just lines running down on each of the slabs, making the Balisong quite slippery. Circling back to the balance of this trainer, it is, like I said, a little too handle biased for me personally. I think it has to do with the stainless steel spacers at the end of the handles. These spacers, however, are crucial for sandwich configurations as they keep the handle together while flipping. I think if Glidr were to do a version 3 of the Arctic, maybe replace the spacer material with a lighter metal, like aluminum, so as not to add too much handle weight. Don't get me wrong, it is still a great flipper, but it is a little heavy for my taste, clocking in around 4.5 ounces. Now, I already said the price of this thing, which is around 120 bucks, but getting one isn't as easy to figure out. You see, Glidr does drops of their products once every several months, and with their popularity, their products sell out pretty damn quickly, even on the secondhand market, which is saying something. What the fuck? To wrap things up, I think this is a pretty decent flipper with a pretty decent value. It may not be everyone's bread and butter, it certainly isn't mine, but I feel like a few people out there will certainly enjoy the Arctic 2. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. Have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you from a distance. Well, that's not ominous at all.